So if you've been following along this year's tattoober series, you might know I wanted the fourth video to be a tattoo-based vlog where I get new tattoos, obviously tattoo my friends, design new flashes and all that stuff. Well, yeah, it didn't really go as planned, and instead of the vlog I'm going to have this little tattoo talk with you all today as the finale of Tattoober, which is already super late due to many different complications along the way. One of them being that I got sick and I couldn't tattoo, then my friends got sick and it just all didn't really work out. But that's not what this video is about, so let's get right into it. Just to clarify, I think this is a pretty privileged problem to have, but as a client I just didn't feel valued and taken seriously at all. So yeah, it just made me sad, and I wanted to share how tattoo artists' behaviors like this can make a client feel. It's also not the first time this happened to me either, and maybe you've had a situation like this as well. Let's just start. Yeah, let's start at the very beginning of October when an artist I followed posted a story saying reply here for a free tattoo. Since I thought they were good artists, I replied with, if you'd be able to do something a bit bold and in the traditional direction, I'd be so down. The tattoo artist answered with, yes, hashtag trad is rad, and they also asked if I had something specific in mind because they were very open for ideas. So pretty much instantly I got one of the 6 or 7 spots they had and was super excited. I even told my friends to be quick if they also wanted a free tattoo from them. The tattoos were completely free because this artist was doing their graduation tattoo license exam thing, and for this degree they weren't allowed to charge anything. Since this artist was doing pretty decent work for over a year now, I was actually very comfortable in getting something from this rather fresh tattooer. We messaged back and forth about the design. I sent some inspo pictures of the motifs and the style I liked, and like in which direction it could go. I decided on a skull with black shading and maybe flowers or planties or something. It didn't have to be traditional, but very much inspired by it with the bold lines and the shading. I thought everything was communicated pretty well, and I was so excited to get a free custom tattoo. Fast forward to like over a month later, they sent me a reminder for the appointment, when and where I had to go, etc. And I also asked a question. Something like, hi, would you mind sending me the design so I can try out placements and that stuff beforehand? They pretty much instantly sent over the design, but I also pretty much immediately knew that this design would never be on my body. I tried to very nicely explain that this was not what I was expecting, and that I got a bit picky over the years and wasn't happy with this artwork. I even tried out the placements on Procreate, but I just didn't like the design overall. In that moment I thought I was the problem, that I was just too picky, and therefore right away I started to draw some more sketches to clarify a bit more what I imagined, and then I found something. I mostly use Pinterest for inspiration, so I typed in something with traditional skull, and what popped up? The exact copy of the skull from my design. I didn't even have to look for it. I mean, it's on top of the site. Found it within seconds. So then I got a little curious, and obviously I looked for the flower as well. And what do I find in the third picture after typing in traditional flower tattoo? Of course, the exact same flower as in the design they sent me. I got really disappointed and a little angry, to be honest. But still, in the next message where I told them that I found the exact same pictures on Pinterest, I still said it's probably my fault for not explaining exactly what I imagined and that I would have loved an original design. So therefore I sent my sketches to clarify what I wanted, thicker lines, more dynamic composition, etc. The answer from them was basically, wow, that's annoying. I thought you gave me freedom to experiment, but oh well. What I can do is give you the opportunity to draw the design yourself and then I'll tattoo that. Or I'll look for someone else since I don't have time anymore to change anything up. Not a single word about the fact that it was completely copied, and also I don't know about the artistic freedom thing, but letting you experiment doesn't mean copying something from Pinterest. I can't find any text where we even spoke about the artistic freedom. Not the point, but whatever. I didn't really know what to say, but since this was a tattoo license exam, I asked if my design would be the one to get graded for them or just their tattooing skills. I got no answer to that either. The only response I got was, I already found a replacement for you, so it resolved itself. Sorry. I was devastated. I felt disrespected, and not having the time to correct the tattoo design where you only spent about 20 minutes copying it was just a downer. I myself can confidently say tracing an already existing design where you spend about like 2 minutes looking for the inspiration in the first place does not take hours and a lot of effort. Let's quickly have a look. Gonna put the inspiration over the skull flower design and see for ourselves. So the skull seems to be identical with the exact line art and shading, except the line weight from the copy is thinner. You know, I mentioned I wanted it bold. The line work from the flower is also completely copied, but at least the shading was a little adjusted, though that doesn't make much of a difference anymore, I think. My problem with the design to begin with was that it just looked very squished together. I think there were a lot of lines merging into each other that made it look like those two elements were never supposed to be one design in the first place. If it was a bit more open, it probably would not have bothered me as much at all. I personally think when you're about to finish your tattoo's license, you should have learned that if you actually poke those squished lines into skin, they will just merge even more after healing for a while. Let me quickly show you what I mean. So here I moved the flower a little to the right. I tried to open it up a bit. Let me know if you can see the difference and get what I mean. By the way, that adjustment took me about 4 minutes, so please don't ever tell me you don't have time to adjust the design. And yes, I know, it's a rather new tattoo artist with not that much experience or practice, but guys, don't ever blame it on the client if you're just too lazy to satisfy your customers. If it's free or not doesn't matter. I was accommodating enough to offer them one of my self-made t-shirts for the tattoo, because I knew they weren't allowed to take any money for it, so I don't know, just saying. Imagine I or someone else wasn't as picky in the first place, got the tattoo, and after a year or whatever found out about it being a copy. I mean, it's a big oof to a client who wanted a custom tattoo design. and no one told them they're going to be walking around with a trace tattoo from Pinterest, where also the original artist definitely didn't get any credit either. Oh yeah, and funny enough, a day before my appointment, they posted a story looking for a new client for that day. It just gets funnier at this point, honestly. A little note, of course there are some tattoo designs, mostly pretty small ones, like hearts or stars, etc. They will pretty much always look the same or copied, which I think is very much fine. I mean, there are mostly not very detailed, custom or personal, but those actually big drawings and intricate designs, I don't know, please don't just trace the first best thing that pops up on your feed. And yes, traditional tattoo designs are sometimes repeated as well, but still mostly in a way where it's changed up and customized. But yeah, I needed to get this out of my system because it was really bothering me, and I hope I could help one or the other to say something and stop your tattoo artist if you are unhappy with the artwork. If they don't want to cooperate, walk away. Don't let anyone pressure you into thinking your preferences aren't valid. Same goes for redoing your stencil if you think it's not in the right spot. Even if you've already paid a deposit, still walk away and just accept the loss of 50 bucks instead of paying even more for something permanent you weren't even 100% comfortable to begin with. With that said, I obviously didn't get the tattoo, and a friend of mine who could save a spot for one of these free tattoos as well dealt with almost the same exact thing. The tattooist just completely changed up the initial sketch and design into a different vibe, and when my friend didn't like that, they just gave the appointment away and used an endless amount of excuses as well. Some people just be like that, I guess. So yeah, I think I've talked enough now though. If you want to tell me your tattoo stories in the comments below, I'd be very interested in your tattoo experiences and I will read all of them. With that said, thank you so much for watching this very long talk of mine. There you will find all the tattoober videos. Good luck with your next tattoo, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Quickly have a look